DK Metcalf will sit out the final 2 games of the regular season after his suspension for violating league policy in an altercation with a fan in Detroit on Sunday was upheld on appeal. Head coach Mike Tomlin addressed the incident and the manner in which he expects his team to respond.
He did explain to me why he did what he did, and I certainly don't condone the behavior, but I support DK.
From a football perspective, what do you lose if DK is not available specifically this week?
One man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. You can waste a lot of time pining for those that you don't have. As a leader, I think it's my job to work and prepare those that I do have.
Lewis, divisional showdown for Pittsburgh in Cleveland this weekend. How costly is the loss of DK Metcalf for the offense?
Oh, it's huge. Look, he is a big outside lane vertical threat. He is a big catch and run threat. He's a big explosive play threat, and you're now taking all of that away from this offense. So that's a problem. Now, the thing that I do like, though, is the fact that they have found a way to still manufacture offense outside of him because of Aaron's reliance on the tight ends and the running backs, which have become a big part, of the passing game. But make no mistake, look, DK is one of those guys who can take the top off the defense. He can make a defense respect the fact that they have a third-level component to their offense. And without him now, what's going to wind up happening is the defense starts to shrink. It starts to come closer down to the line of scrimmage, and everything gets a little muddier for the offensive line and the quarterback. That's the problem.
Yeah, we can go even last week, right? What Lewis talking about. When you talk about like a push crack by a receiver, he'll go in and get the mic. He can come that far in. He can play that physical. So your run game, where we talk about big runs come from the offense, explosive runs come because of the receiver. You taking him off the field, it matters. The tilt of the defense, right? Like how many players are leaning his way, or vision has to go to help or cover with him, makes them slower to react. When guys don't have that, I don't care that it's someone else's opportunity, doesn't matter. When you go to play that game, he ain't looking at that guy the same way. There's a reason you went and got a dude, right? You go get dudes for a reason. He is a dude in what he provides. Him not being there is going to affect the run game, maybe not equally as a pass game, but it will affect it.
I love it how you say doesn't matter, because this game is on a Sunday, which is important to note because Baltimore plays on Saturday against Green Bay. If the Ravens lose that game, the Steelers clinch the AFC North. So the game on Sunday wouldn't matter. Would you, if you're Tomlin, rest a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers the rest of the way out?
I think about it. I don't necessarily believe in that. I do believe that this offense right now has found kind of a sweet spot and found kind of a rhythm that comes with repetition. And so I wouldn't want to break that up. And in particular, look, you saw this over the past couple of weeks, especially his rhythm that he has found with the running backs in the passing game. You hear Aaron really just continuing to really pump up his running backs in particular. It was Kenny Gainwell last week against Detroit. Here it's Jaylen Warren against Baltimore a few weeks ago. He loves these guys. He looks for these dudes. You hear him coaching these guys on the football field in the middle of plays, telling them exactly what to do, and then really lauding them on the sideline and pumping them up. I think that's the kind of thing you don't want to disrupt, and you probably want to keep playing him. I would hate to see this football team without Aaron Rodgers, because I think he is a catalyst right now.
Well, we have, right? They're in Chicago that day and played without him, and it didn't go very well, right?
Yeah.
So, I think the key is the way they're changing week to week, what they're doing on offense is something they're only going to be able to do with Aaron Rodgers. Right? He's not the difference maker he once was from a physical athletic standpoint, but he still can be from an intelligence and experience standpoint. So a couple of weeks ago, DK has 148 receiving yards, and Aaron has his highest yardage total of the year against Baltimore. Then 2 weeks ago against Miami, it's the tight ends. And then this past week, it was the running backs.
That's right.
So they're adjusting as they need to. Now, they haven't had to play without DK yet, so that's going to make it difficult. But I think the way this offense is set up, I don't think resting Aaron Rodgers for 2 whole weeks and then playing a playoff game is the right way to go, because I think it needs to continue to understand how it's going to operate week to week.
Yeah. Listen, absolutely not. I'm going to just say this. From a guy who got sacked, do not do it. Like, I'm for real. Like, we play in a rhythm. There's always risk for injury, man. Like we play a game that there's inherent risk. He's not no more risky to go play this Saturday or Sunday whenever they're going to play, or play one of the first playoff game. What you do lose is your rhythm of play. And that does matter in football. When you start to get the feel, and you guys just make great points. Whether it's receivers, tight ends, running backs, like that feeling, figuring that out in the game matters. Now, if you want to sit them in the fourth quarter because you got a lead or you're going to take 15 plays, I get it. But clean like six for any of these players, they're not good enough to do that. No one's good enough. Like, respect the game enough to know that you hone your craft week in and week out and go get.
I think you do, though, need to be mindful, and I think Mike Tomlin will deliver that message that, hey, look, man, you don't need to take any risks, though.
Amen.
Okay,
that's
ball's out.
Fine.
Hey, I mean,
that's
no
right.
risk.
When was the last
someone's around you. Ooh, ball's out of there. Hey, man.
Let me tell you what Aaron Rodgers don't do. Yeah. He does not do that.
Let's let that lie, Aaron. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Time to run the floor.
Automatically, do they think about what they could get on the trade market and start over? It's a tough situation because you remember how contentious it was last time when he had a contract extension. He's missed games this year with injury, and it's certainly not the first year that's been the case. Yeah, they're in year 8 with Lamar Jackson. I think if you're the Ravens, you're asking yourself, is this program Super Bowl caliber? And if not, do we need to make major changes?
And as you mentioned before, he represents himself.
He does.
Which compounds the issue a little bit when you're trying to have conversations behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't go through the traditional route and have the agent contact him. You're relying on Lamar himself to decide it's time to have that conversation. And at this point, to my knowledge, I don't believe that they've had any. So very interesting offseason ahead for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson.
Lewis, it feels like it's just the tip of the iceberg with this story. Something we're discussing now that's just going to continue into the offseason, possibly all the way up until the draft, possibly into the summer. What do you think the Ravens should do here?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Obviously, I think from the team perspective, you're looking at a situation where you're going to want to build in protections for yourself somehow, some way. But that's going to be hard to do when you're dealing with a player who's going to obviously represent himself. You're going to have to rely on the relationship that you built with the player over time to have these kind of productive conversations to where, hey, look, as a team, you're always trying to mitigate risk. You're trying to minimize risk. And with Lamar, the risk is always about his availability, right? That's the number one thing. I don't think anybody really questions his competency as far as playing the game. When he's on the football field and he's healthy, he's one of the most dangerous weapons in the entire NFL. And Eric DeCosta knows. A lot of us unanimously sat here and said, this is the best roster in football.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the best roster. So all of a sudden now all of a sudden it's not. Because if you trade him, then what you're saying is we're starting over. Because you're not going to replace him with someone equal to him.
Right.
That's just going to step in there and pick right up. So I think with him, this is a very touchy situation. And you mentioned that this morning in our meeting. Because, one, he represents himself. Two, how do you value him going forward? How do you protect yourself against injury? Like, this is going to be one that we will talk about a lot for the next 4 or 5
Jeff,
years.
what are we thinking here for the Ravens? Are we rebuilding or reloading this offseason?
I would reload. I mean, I would go around Lamar. Listen, to go replace a guy like Lamar is very difficult, right? You kind of know what you have in Lamar, and to your point, you have to go get somebody who, if he misses 4 or 5 games, can go win you 4 or 5 games. So you build, again, that's part of building the roster. I do think, and because I thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl this year, right? I picked him early. He hasn't played, even when he was healthy, he hasn't played great. Once he came back from the injury, it hasn't looked